What if I told you that Elon Musk and Donald Trump, two of the world's most renowned billionaires, are more alike than you think? Welcome to the intriguing world of billionaire populism, a phenomenon that has been shaping public discourse and sending ripples throughout the socio-political landscape. You might be wondering, what exactly is billionaire populism? Well, it's a term used to describe how billionaires like Musk and Trump leverage their enormous wealth and influence to sway public opinion, often in ways that defy traditional political norms. Elon Musk, the tech titan behind SpaceX and Tesla, and Donald Trump, the real estate mogul turned 45th president of the United States, might seem like very different figures at first glance. However, when you take a closer look, you'll find that they share an uncanny ability to appeal to the masses, despite their billionaire status. Both have harnessed the power of social media to connect directly with their followers, bypassing traditional media gatekeepers. They've built their brands on a foundation of audacious goals and big promises, often delivered with a sense of showmanship that keeps them in the public eye. Trump, with his "Make America Great Again" mantra, and Musk, with his visions of colonizing Mars and revolutionizing transportation, have both tapped into a deep-seated desire for change among the public. They've positioned themselves as anti-establishment figures, challenging the status quo and presenting themselves as champions of the common man, despite their extravagant wealth. While the methods may vary, the underlying strategy is essentially the same. It's about creating a narrative that resonates with the people, a narrative that makes them feel seen, heard, and understood. It's about speaking to their hopes, their fears, their dreams, and their frustrations. It's about making them believe that these billionaires, despite their privileged positions, are fighting for them. As we dive deeper, you'll see how Elon Musk is not just following in Trump's footsteps but is fully embracing this new wave of billionaire populism. To understand Musk's approach, we first need to look at Donald Trump's rise to power. Trump's journey from real estate tycoon to the 45th president of the United States is nothing short of extraordinary. But how did a billionaire businessman manage to connect with everyday Americans and ascend to the highest office in the land? The answer lies in his clever use of populism. Trump positioned himself as a man of the people, promising to fight for the forgotten Americans left behind by globalization and the march of technology. He used his status as an outsider to the political establishment to his advantage, claiming that he was uniquely positioned to drain the swamp of Washington, D.C., and bring about real change for the people. He spoke in a language that resonated with many, using blunt, straightforward rhetoric that contrasted sharply with the polished speeches of career politicians. Despite his billionaire status, Trump managed to paint himself as a champion of the working class, a fighter against the corrupt elites. His populist appeal was not just about his policies but also his persona. He was brash, unfiltered, and unapologetic, a stark contrast to the more measured tones of traditional politicians. Trump's populism wasn't without controversy. Critics argued that his rhetoric was divisive and that his promises were empty, but there's no denying the impact of his approach. He managed to galvanize a significant portion of the American electorate, enough to secure him the presidency in 2016. And it's this populist playbook that Elon Musk appears to be adopting. Much like Trump, Musk is a billionaire outsider, a disruptor who promises to shake up the status quo. He's positioning himself as a champion of the people, promising to take on entrenched interests and bring about a new era of innovation and progress. Trump's journey sets the stage for a new kind of billionaire persona, one that Musk is keen to adopt. As we delve deeper, we'll see how Musk is fully embracing this new brand of billionaire populism and what it could mean for the future. Now let's turn our attention to Elon Musk. His billionaire populism didn't appear overnight. Elon Musk, the enigmatic CEO of SpaceX and Tesla, began showing signs of populist leanings way before it became a pronounced part of his persona. One of the earliest indicators was Musk's communication style on Twitter. He was, and still is, known for his candid and sometimes controversial tweets. This direct communication, bypassing traditional media channels, echoes the populist tactic of speaking directly to the people, a method also employed by Donald Trump. His Twitter presence was just the tip of the iceberg. Musk's public appearances often saw him portraying himself as a man of the people. Whether it was sleeping at the Tesla factory to empathize with his workers or his willingness to take on established industries with his ambitious projects, Musk was not your typical aloof billionaire. He was, in his own way, trying to disrupt not just industries, but also the traditional image of the billionaire. There were also instances where Musk positioned himself as the underdog, battling against big corporations and government regulations. This narrative is a classic populist move, appealing to the masses who often feel sidelined by the so-called elites. Musk's very public battles, be it against short sellers betting against Tesla, or his clash with the SEC, were all part of this underdog image, not forgetting his ambitious goals that are often centered around humanity's future, such as making life multiplanetary or accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. These grand visions, communicated directly to the public, further establish Musk's populist approach. His approach to business and public communication was not typical of a billionaire. He was not just leading companies, he was leading a movement, rallying people around his ambitious goals and disruptive ideas. In many ways, Elon Musk was positioning himself not merely as a billionaire but as a populist leader, much like Donald Trump. These early signs were just the beginning of Musk's journey into billionaire populism. In recent years, Musk has fully embraced the billionaire populism that Trump showcased. Elon Musk's approach to billionaire populism is quite unique. He's taken the idea and run with it, using his platform to challenge the status quo and make waves in industries that have remained relatively unchanged for decades. One of the most prominent ways Musk has done this is through his public criticisms of big government. He's been vocal about his belief that governmental regulations often do more harm than good, stifling innovation and protecting entrenched interests. This stance mirrors Trump's own approach, which often involved railing against the establishment and advocating for deregulation. Musk's controversial tweets are another aspect of his embrace of billionaire populism. Like Trump, Musk understands the power of social media and uses it to communicate directly with the public, bypassing traditional media outlets. Whether he's sharing his thoughts on artificial intelligence, space travel, or cryptocurrency, Musk's tweets generate conversations and make headlines. Lastly, Musk's focus on populist issues, particularly cryptocurrency, is a clear sign of his full embrace of billionaire populism. Cryptocurrency, with its potential to disrupt traditional financial systems and offer a decentralized alternative, is a perfect fit for Musk's populist stance. He's been a vocal supporter of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Dogecoin, and has even announced plans for his companies to accept them as payment. But Musk's approach to billionaire populism isn't just about being controversial or challenging the establishment, it's also about engaging with the public and championing their concerns. Whether it's advocating for renewable energy, pushing for advancements in electric vehicles, or promoting the potential of space exploration, Musk is using his platform to address issues that resonate with many people. In these ways, Musk is not just mimicking Trump's style, but is fully embracing this new form of billionaire populism. Despite the controversy, it's clear that Musk's approach is making a significant impact. And as we'll explore in the next scene, this impact is reshaping industries and sparking new conversations about the role of billionaires in society. The question now is, what impact is Musk's billionaire populism having? The influence of Musk's populist approach is as vast as it is complex. It's a tale of two impacts, both positive and negative, shaping industries, public perception, and the future of tech leadership. On the positive side, Musk's populism has been instrumental in building a loyal following that is not just large, but also incredibly engaged. This is no small feat in an era where attention spans are shorter than ever. His followers don't just admire him, they're inspired by his vision for a future marked by technological advancements and interplanetary exploration. His charisma and willingness to challenge the status quo have positioned him as a maverick, a beacon for those who crave change and innovation. However, there's a flip side to this coin. Musk's populist approach has also led to a fair share of controversy and criticism. His unfiltered communication style, often through social media, has sparked numerous debates and drawn the ire of regulators, investors, and critics. His tweets have moved markets, led to lawsuits, and even put his role as CEO of Tesla at risk. For some, Musk's populism is seen as a liability, an unpredictable element in an otherwise steady industry. Furthermore, Musk's populist tactics have also been critiqued for creating a cult of personality where the man overshadows the mission. The focus on Musk, the individual, sometimes detracts from the larger goals of his companies. This is a risk when the success of the mission is so closely tied to one person's vision and leadership. So, the impact of Musk's billionaire populism is a mixed bag. Yes, it has helped him to build a strong, passionate following, but it has also stirred up controversy and criticism that can overshadow his visionary initiatives. Like Trump, Musk's billionaire populism is a double-edged sword. It draws people in, but it also pushes others away. As we look to the future, what can we expect from this trend of billionaire populism? In the shifting sands of global politics and economics, the future is always uncertain. But one thing is clear: billionaire populism, as embodied by figures like Elon Musk, is leaving an indelible mark on the landscape. In the business sphere, we may see other billionaires adopting this approach, using their wealth and influence to connect directly with the masses. They may bypass traditional gatekeepers and shape the narrative to suit their interests. This could lead to a more democratized business environment, where the line between consumers and decision-makers becomes increasingly blurred. In the political realm, the impact could be even more profound. Billionaires with their massive resources and global reach could become key players, influencing policy and shaping public opinion. They could leverage their popularity to push for changes that benefit their businesses or personal ideologies. But this trend also raises serious questions about accountability and power dynamics. With the rise of billionaire populism, we could see an erosion of institutional checks and balances. After all, when a billionaire populist speaks, who dares to contradict? Furthermore, this trend could exacerbate income inequality, as the interests of the ultra-rich become even more entrenched in our societies. This could lead to a backlash and calls for more regulation or even wealth redistribution. However, it's also possible that the trend of billionaire populism might not sustain. It could turn out to be a passing fad, a reaction to the unique circumstances of our time. People might grow skeptical of billionaires playing populists, seeing it as a cynical ploy to further their own interests. It's also worth noting that not all billionaires are cut from the same cloth. They have diverse interests and ideologies, and not all of them will choose to embrace populism. Some might prefer to influence from the shadows, while others might reject the idea of mixing business with politics altogether. Only time will tell if billionaire populism is here to stay, or if it's just a passing trend. So, what have we learned about Elon Musk and Donald Trump's billionaire populism? We've embarked on a fascinating journey, probing the depths of billionaire populism as embodied by Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Let's refresh our memory by recapping the main points of our discussion. We started off by examining the phenomenon of billionaire populism itself. We've seen how this movement is characterized by billionaires leveraging their wealth and influence to sway public opinion and policy in their favor. They present themselves as champions for the common folk against the establishment, despite being part of the financial elite themselves. Next, we delved into the specifics of populism in action. We noted that this involves a careful blend of public relations, savvy business decisions, and strategic political maneuvering. We highlighted how both Musk and Trump have effectively used these tactics to shape their public personas and further their personal and professional goals. Then we looked at the early signs of Musk's embrace of this strategy. We saw that this wasn't a sudden development but a gradual process, influenced by Trump's success in the political arena. Musk's shift towards populism was more subtle and nuanced compared to Trump's more overt approach. We then moved on to discuss Musk's full embrace of this strategy. We saw how he used his wealth and influence to champion causes popular among the masses, positioning himself as a disruptor, shaking up the status quo, much like Trump. Analyzing the impact of Musk's populism, we observed how it affected public perception, policy, and the trajectory of his companies. We also speculated on the future of billionaire populism, considering how this trend might evolve in the coming years. In a world increasingly influenced by billionaires, understanding this trend of billionaire populism is more important than ever. It's a reminder that the power dynamics of our society are constantly shifting, and that those with wealth and influence can shape these changes in profound ways. It's an intriguing narrative, one that continues to unfold before our very eyes.